Hello and welcome to Life Beyond Repair, a community for those who have ever felt broken, lost or unable to go on. Here you will find a series of inspirational interviews with incredible individuals, people who have brought themselves back from the brink and are now sharing their stories to empower others. Join us here and across all social media platforms as we prove that there is in fact life beyond repair. Hello and welcome to this episode of Life Beyond Repair. Today we're joined by Jake Mills. Hello, Jake.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. Happy New Year to you.
And to you.
I think we just say that till about April.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it becomes Easter, and then
Yeah. So I know it's not exactly New Year, but Happy New Year forever.
Thank you. Jake, would you mind telling people a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Jake Mills. I'm the founder and chief executive of a national mental health charity called Chasing the Stigma. We are Chasing the Stigma, trying to humanise, normalise mental health in our approach to our work. And what we mean by that is we want to appeal to as many people as we possibly can. And I believe the best way that we possibly can do that is by talking in a way and acting in a way that people talk and act. We don't want to overcomplicate things. We don't want to be using jargon and clinical language because that's for the experts to do. We just want to be able to reach as many people as we possibly can. We operate something called the Hub of Hope, which is a national mental health database. And again, trying just to do something really simple, really easy, but really effective, which is bringing together all the different types of mental health support in one place so that anybody needing help anywhere in the UK can just go to one app or one website and find whatever it is that they're looking for.
Fantastic. So when did it all begin for you?
Well, Chasing the Stigma has just celebrated its third birthday. I think, third birthday as a national mental health charity. Before that, we existed without the charitable status for about a year and a half, I think. The Hub of Hope has been around for 2.5 years. I don't know where we are anymore. I feel like the last year, as like time has just gone. But basically, we've existed following personal experience of mine of a suicide attempt a number of years ago. So I'd never worked in mental health before, or I didn't even, in all honesty, I didn't know what depression was, if I'm being totally honest with you. I heard about it and I knew it was a thing, but I didn't know what it felt like. I didn't know what it would do. I'm going to turn my notifications off because that will help, won't it? I didn't know what it was, and without kind of delving too far into it, struggled with depression myself, and that led to a suicide attempt. And because my background was in stand-up comedy, that's what I was doing before working in mental health. My stories picked up in the press, and then I was being asked to talk about my story, which happens a lot. You see it all the time when people are asked to talk about the story. But what happened as a result is that people started coming to me asking me for help because, well, from their point of view, I was somebody who was on television talking about how I was really bad and now I'm not really bad. And so people started to think, well, I had the answers. And the truth was I didn't have the answers. I didn't know, my story wasn't one of brilliant recovery. It was quite the opposite, really. So I wanted to create something from that. I didn't want to just be talking about my story. I wanted it to be something that we could do something with. So if people, I didn't want to just be awareness raising. If people were finding the need or the comfort in contacting me, I wanted there to be something else then to be able to help them get that help and support. So that's where we came from. That's why we exist. And we've been able to have a lot of success in the short amount of time. The charity, as I said, is I feel like it was 3. I honestly can't remember now. I think it was 3. But for the first 2 years, it was just myself. But in the last year, we've been able to grow quite a lot, bringing on different members of staff, working with organisations like NHS and Public Health and Mind and Samaritans, a lot of different organisations to actually fill a gap and fill a void.
Yeah. Fab.
It's a long answer that, wasn't it?
No, it's great. It's great. It means I have to ask less questions. So I know that you said your recovery journey wasn't easy, but what were some of the things that helped you?
Yeah, it's a difficult one really, because I think on the face of things, really, my recovery journey started with a suicide attempt. Why that was is because, I reached a point where I was kind of juggling everything myself, and I was battling everything alone, and I was so scared and worried and paranoid about telling other people about what I was feeling, what I was doing, who I was with, where I was going, all these different web of lies that I just created myself as a way of not letting anybody in.
Mm-hmm.
Became so heavy for me that I couldn't do that anymore. And actually, because of the suicide attempt, and it's not necessarily because it was a suicide attempt, but it was suddenly everything was there. Suddenly everything was there in the open. Suddenly I wasn't hiding from people, because I'd reached this point where my girlfriend and my parents and friends knew.
Mm-hmm.
I'd reached this point where suddenly it was there for everybody to see. And that was the turning point,
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't hiding from it. Now, their reaction was a positive one, in the sense that it was reassuring, it was comforting, it was, we'll help you get through this. We're not judging you, we're not doing it. We just want you to be better. Now, in hindsight, that moment could have come before a suicide attempt. It didn't have to take me attempting to take my life for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It probably could have happened if I'd have just, I don't want to use the word courage, because I don't think it's necessarily, although it can feel like a courageous thing to do, but if you're not speaking now, it doesn't mean that you're not courageous. But if I would have at least attempted to have that conversation at an earlier stage and be open with people, then maybe that same moment could have happened before that attempt. But after the attempt, and after everything was there, after everything was open, I was able to start that recovery journey.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to be open with, as I said, with my girlfriend and with my family, and being able to actually have conversations about how I was feeling. And I think sometimes people think that has to be like a constant, and how are you feeling now, and what are you thinking about what you're doing, and it wasn't. It was just really, really comforting just to know, is everything okay? Is there anything I can do to help? You're getting on with your normal day, you're getting on with your normal life, but you're all aware that you need to be checking in and seeing how you're doing. And that's kind of, that's been the turning point, or was the turning point of my life. The other thing was that through the work that I was doing, and I'm, doing the conversations that I was on in the media, and the people coming to me asking for help, and everything that I've done with Chasing Stigma, is that I got a purpose. I felt like I had a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I had a purpose in life, that where I was making a difference. And so, you look back at the reasons for why I was the way I was, and it's very, very complicated and very complex, and a lot of different reasons. But I think I was just very generally unhappy. And suddenly coming out of it and doing something with a purpose, and doing something that I was enjoying, feeling like I was getting something out of it allowed me to move into this new chapter of my life where I could be happy on a daily basis.
Yeah, fantastic. So when you talk about purpose, I guess from a Chasing the Stigma perspective, what is the core message behind what you're doing there?
Well, the core message is about doing something different, to change our approach to mental health generally. And we're a very small charity, but we have very, very big ambitions, and that is to reduce suicide. but it's to talk about mental health in a new way. And what I mean by that is that generally people think the words mental health means something negative. And that is, in my opinion, that's like the crux of the problem really that we face as a society, because we talk about mental health. You say the words mental health, people will think of something negative. They will think of somebody unwell.
Yeah.
When you say the words physical health, people will generally think of something positive, an aspiration, a vision of yourself, a vision of somebody else looking after their physical health. But we don't see that with our mental health. And we've got to change that. And that's why, when I said before, is that we're trying to talk, and we're talking like ordinary people, and we're approaching everybody, is because we need to be able to bring everybody to the table to say, this is all of us. And yes, there's different levels of that. Yes, there's people who are unwell, there's people who have severe mental illness, and it's not excluding them, and it's not saying that we're oversimplifying it for them. We're not. But what we're trying to do is bring everybody to the table to be able to have that conversation, to say, you've all got mental health. So you all should be able to take the steps to look after your mental health, and importantly, know what to do if your mental health isn't great. And that's prevention. That's intervention. And until you have that conversation with everybody, and until you normalize that conversation on that topic, then we're never going to be at that same level that we are with physical health. It's built within us as people in our society that if we're feeling physically unwell, we go and get help. We know the process. We go to a doctor, we explain it, we take whatever they try. We just do that. And anyone you talk to, if you talk to any of your friends, any of your family, a stranger in the street, and you say, I don't feel well. I've got pain, I've found a lump, I've done anything like that, they'll say, go to the doctor, go and get checked out. That's what they would do. With your mental health, actually, people say the opposite a lot of the time. You've got family members, you've got people who will go, don't say nothing. Don't try that medication. Oh, I'm not sure about that. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
That's where we need to change. And that's why it's got to be a everybody everyday approach to mental health, so that we engage everybody. And if we can do that by using comedy, if we can do that by using different language, if we can do that by building an app, then that's what we're trying to do. So we're just trying to approach as many people as we can, make that help as easy as possible as we can via the Hub of Hope, and to try and we've got a training program called Ambassadors of Hope, which again is about educating as many people as we can, because we were seeing, or I was seeing, I was very aware of workplaces in particular who have hundreds and hundreds of staff, for argument's sake, 900 members of staff. And when we're talking to them about what do you do about mental health, they say, well, we've got, 10 mental health first aiders or whatever it was, we've got 10 people trained. And it's like, okay, well, but you've got 900 members of staff. So 10 is not, it's not even the tip of the iceberg. So why can't we train everybody? Yep. So that's why we developed a training program to say, well, let us talk to every single member of your staff. We're not going to make them experts, but they don't have to be. And by doing that, we can access everybody and give them the basics, give them that real baseline of understanding, but then you can change the culture within the workplace.
Yeah, fantastic. So what would be some of your top tips around taking care of your mental health?
Top tip, a really big one, is being aware of what kind of, I try to avoid the word trigger, because again, people have this new connotation of what the word trigger means, and we know what that means, but other people think, you're getting a lot of people say, oh, you're triggered and stuff. However, being aware of the things that, I'm going to use it after all, but being aware of the things that will trigger your good mental health and poor mental health and your moods, what's good, what works for you, what's the signs that you're not really at the best that you could be. Now, for me, it's sleep. I know that if I have, say, a number of nights of staying up on my phone, looking at absolutely nothing, I don't know why I'm looking at it, and then not getting that sleep, that will affect my mental health. So I know that I need to, maybe after the second night of doing that, try and get an early night's sleep. I know that the things that are good for my mental health are, again, I try to avoid using this when I can, because I know not everybody is the same, but running and exercise for me works so well. And I think what it is more so than just going out and running, it's having the time and space on my own, again, not on my phone, not talking to anybody, just not even listening to music, just going out. So it's finding what's the things that are, one, triggering your mental health to not be where it should be, but two, the things that you can do on a daily basis to look after your mental health. What boosts your mood? What do you look forward to? I think last year, we suddenly became a lot more aware of those kind of, those little positives, those little nuggets, because we were living in a world where you're inside this house and you're not moving, and you were looking forward to going outside, you're looking forward to going for a walk, you're looking forward to seeing people or watching something. So just being aware of them on a daily basis, as I said, both from a positive and a negative effect on your mental health, just being a lot more aware of them. Once you start being aware of it, then it's almost like a snowball effect. You find those things, and it's looking out for yourself. The other thing I can say as well is that give yourself a chance to get better. Give yourself a chance. If you are not feeling great, give yourself a chance to feel great. Give yourself a chance of recovery. Give yourself a chance of feeling better, in the same way that you would give yourself a chance to not be unwell if it was a physical illness. Giving yourself that chance to actually have that recovery that you deserve. You might not think you do, but you do. So give yourself every possible chance that you can. Try something else. If that doesn't work, try as many different avenues as you possibly can. It's not a one size fits all. So give yourself a chance to find the right thing for you.
Fantastic. So what's next for you? What's next for Chasing the Stigma?
The sun, apparently. I need blinds. Hopefully. I'll put that there. So we are, it's for us, it's all about stepping up. What we want is, we want the Hub of Hope to be the nation's go-to signposting tool. We want that to be common knowledge, that if you are struggling with your mental health, you go to the Hub of Hope, you find the help and support there. And that's got a couple of kind of prongs to it. One of that is making people aware of it. Right across the country, so that they can go on it. The other one is working with and trying to integrate with as many different systems and organizations as we possibly can. You know, what we don't want is all, trusts and local authorities and charities and all these different people all having their own lists and nobody else being aware of them.
Yeah.
We want to work towards a point where, and what we are working towards, is that everybody can have their list on the Hub of Hope, and they can, in some places where it's applicable, have admin access and they can be using that. But if we can integrate these systems, it means that there's one real comprehensive go-to place to find anything that you're looking for. It makes complete sense. It's not rocket science. If it was, I wouldn't be the person doing it. But by having that real one place to go, we can make it easier for people to find the help and support that's available. And if you are on a waiting list, actually you can go and find somewhere where you can go and be around people, where you can go on a walk and talk group, you can go and find private support, you can go and find peer support. So just by giving people options, we can allow people to get the help and support instead of just sitting and waiting, which can be months. So it's working across as many sectors as we can to try and say, let's all be working together.
Yeah, fantastic. So where can people find some more information?
So if you go to chastingstigma.co.uk, you can find out a lot more about Chasing the Stigma as a charity, the Hub of Hope and the Ambassador Hope training program. You can download the Hub of Hope as a free app on all the app stores, or you can visit hubofhope.co.uk. So that's where you can go and find help and support. If you want to register your service or support service on the Hub of Hope. You can do for free. If you go on the app or the website, it'll give you an option to register your service on there.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much. We really appreciate your time, and everything you're doing is absolutely fantastic. If you would like to get in touch about this video or any of the other videos that you've seen, you can contact us at lifebeyondrepair@gmail.com. Until next time, thank you.